Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And this is round 2 of the NoNat 5 Guardian Arena push. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and just play this video, and then as soon as it starts playing, then we'll get into it. It's 31 minutes, basically not the full Arena Rush hour. It's just the last 30 minutes of it. And I did it just like last time here, but real quick, I start off by showing you guys my arena defense. It's the same thing that I used last week. I actually did leave swag, so that is another factor, whether or not, some people say that you have an OP guild. That's another, common excuse that people use. So I just removed that. I left the guild, so I'm free game for anybody. I'm actually guildless at this point right here in the game, and I'll talk about the guild a little bit later on throughout the video as well. But basically, just to recap, last week I don't have time or an option to actually play it live right in front of you. So what I do is I just go home, get in bed, play the game, and then I record it off my phone, and then I play it back, download it to my computer, and then I do this voiceover for you. As you can see, though, the quality is much better than it was last week, and I appreciate you guys kind of bearing with me there on that one. It's definitely not the greatest thing to watch just a bad quality video. So hopefully this is a little bit better for you guys. Probably one of the highest quality vids that I really actually have ever gotten, with just if you just look at the gameplay, it's just so smooth and just so crisp. Like it's almost like you're watching the actual screen on your phone. Okay, so let's talk about it though. What monsters am I not using? I'm not using any natural 5-star monsters, so no base, just anything natural. So as far as fusion monsters goes, those are free game. I can use any of those that I want. That's why you saw the Vermos in there. And any Nat 4 monster at all whatsoever, it doesn't matter. Just no natural 5-star monsters and beyond, okay? Who else am I not using? I'm not using Arena. A lot of people say, go ahead and use Rena. That's the easiest way to get G1, Guardian 3, whatever, using Rena. Well, no, I don't want to use Rena either, because it's cheap. It's like, if you guys are looking for an easy way out, Rena is a good option, but I just feel like it just makes the game so boring. Like nobody wants to fight Rena, nobody wants to use Rena, but Rena is there, blah, okay? So I'm not using Rena. What's another monster that's pretty overly used right now in this this current meta that I feel like is it's annoying as well. It's annoying to fight. Nobody wants to fight it. If you haven't guessed it already, it's Freya, which is the Fire Sylphid. Okay, Freya, the Fire Sylphid. Everybody thought that was the worst one. Now it's actually the most relevant one. Go figure. Comtua seems to like to kind of overcompensate sometimes when they buff their monsters. But yeah, so I'm not using anything like that. I'm not using any of those stupid stall stuff throughout the entire rush hour. Yeah, I'm using some LD Nat 4s. Yeah, I have Figaro, and a little bit later on I'll use Gemini. However, Gemini was farmable. There was an HOH for Gemini. Now, if you haven't gotten in since Gemini HOH, I'm sorry for you, but Gemini is a great monster to use if you guys are looking for a stripper, a speed leader, a defense break, all these different things that Gemini has to offer. I do break Gemini out a little bit later on. As far as Figaro is concerned, somebody that could replace Figaro, really, I mean, Figaro is not that good. Like, I've gotten a lot of feedback using Figaro in this challenge where I don't use any natural 5-star monsters. They were like, well, you use Figaro instead. He's, just as hard to get or whatever, and Figaro's OP, but he's really not OP. He's not. He's decent. I think he's a little bit underhyped, but he's just not as OP as you guys might think. So with that being said, what can you do to replace Figaro? And the best thing to do to replace Figaro with would probably be like Aquila. or something like that. So again, you know, I could say use Aquila, but then they're like, okay, well, I don't have Aquila because he's a natural 4-star monster, and just like every other 4-star monster, you know, I can't get it. That's why, you know, people say, oh, you're Lucians. Yeah, Lucians, they're just as good as natural 5-star monsters. Okay, well, it's a Lucian, it's a natural 4-star monster. Like, work with me a little bit, you guys. Do you want me to use complete, like, natural 3-star monsters, or can I only use certain natural 4-star monsters and not other natural 4-star? Like, I don't get it. So, Lucians, that's why I said just everything other than natural 5-star monsters is available to me. I talked about it a little bit in the last video with the Light Lich. I would 100% change Light Lich out for a Wind Sylph if I had it, which is Shimate. I would much rather switch out that. And I guess I was in a guild at this point, but what it is a guild that I created. It's brand new. It's not even really like a guild. It was just me and Cameo Man in there at this point. And so since we're on that topic, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick while you guys are watching some more arena fights. So I left Swag. Okay. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I did leave Swag for good, once and for all. Don't plan to go back. I'm pretty much done. I know a lot of you guys are going to ask why I left Swag. I don't really need to get into it. I just felt like it was time to move on. And that's that. Okay. So moving from Swag, I was thinking, what's my next move? Where would I feel like I fit in? And I didn't really find a whole lot of good options, so I just decided, okay, you know what? Let me just make my own guild. See what happens. I've tried to make my own guild before. It didn't really work out as what I planned because I wanted to be super competitive and whatever else. But now I just want to kind of relax, have a bunch of other G3 players that just have the same kind of goals as me and relax as well. Okay, wait. We'll get back to that as well. But so I just got kind of lit up on defense here. So let's see what I do. I got hit 3 times in 0 minutes. A couple other times there, Leon hit me 3 times. So I'm trying to think to myself, what's the best option? Okay, this arena defense that I had, it helps me get up to Guardian, but then once I hit Guardian, it completely gets shut down. So what do I do after I finish this sentence here? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Do you ruin all of them? So he's talking about all of his natural 5-star monsters, and I'm talking about how I refresh, and then if I get 3,000 crystals I summon. He's talking about how he didn't do arena in so long. XYZ. Okay. So I completely got lit up. Do I change my defense at this time? Yes, I do. So this is something to learn from for all of you guys that are watching as well. Don't be married to an arena defense. Don't marry them. You guys are too young to get married. Just kidding. Don't be married to a single defense. I checked my Theomars. Theomars didn't even have a rune on him. I figured, fuck it, I'm not gonna worry about that. I see my Gemini. I'm like, okay, maybe I can work with Gemini. And I'm really coming up with this defense on the fly. So I haven't premeditated this defense at all. Haven't tested it at all. Haven't done really anything with this defense at all. But I figured I'm gonna try it. So I liked the idea of having Gemini, Vermos, Figaro, but then I needed some type of attack bar booster, and I had a couple of different options between Bernard, Megan, and Orion, and I had Vertihile as well, of course. But I was looking at my team now. This is probably going to get Lucian, so I figured, okay, let me put some speed boost in it. So if I put some speed in it, it could potentially weed out some of the Lucians as well. But you got to be careful with Gemini. If you have a buff on your Gemini, then you kind of counteract his passive because he has to have less buffs than the opponents at that time. So Orion's a good choice. He's on Will Swift, about 267 speed if I saw that correctly. And I throw that defense in and figure, okay, I'll see how it works. Let's move on to the rest of Rush. I'm back down to 618, so I really gained no ground from the start of Rush Hour till now. Absolutely no ground. If I'm hopefully going to look at the clock here in just a second. But right now I'm just looking through arena defenses, seeing which ones I think would be good for my Lucians. I don't sway away from Lucians at all in Rush Hour. In this situation, Rush Hour, I used to cleave a lot, but right now without natural 5-star monsters, I don't want to cleave. I don't want to be without Zeros and things like that. So I strictly am just going to stick to Lucians. This defense was Lucianable because I was able to kill the Praha without it proccing Nemesis, and then I was able to one-shot the Water Panda down with my Bernard, or not one-shot, but finish it off with my Bernard, and then the rest is just clean up from here. Nothing too crazy. Okeanos don't really scare me too much just because they're typically built a little squishier. I've never seen an Okeanos that was really a threat. So there you go. I switched my defense. I got a couple good defense successfuls out of it, and then I come up against this team and I think, okay, this is could be an easy speed Lucian kill. It scared me a little bit with the double Orions. I was thinking maybe one could be on Nemesis or something and screw up my Lucians. And then they would come back, Zeros, Faye, that whole combination thing. So don't really remember exactly how it goes, but let's take a look here. Yeah, so the Orion cut in between could have easily made this match go a completely different way, but the Orion cut in between, I was able to stun the Zeros and kind of finish everything else off. I got lucky on that one, but sometimes you need a little luck. So 12:43, 17 minutes left in Rush Hour. Right in the middle here, fought Tebow. He's in Oblivion, which is he's typically ranked pretty high up there, like G3. Used to be a G3 anyway. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but very good player. Tebow is. Has some really fast Swift sets. I saw this defense. It has a defense leader skill. So with fire monsters, anytime there's a fire monster plus an HP leader skill, that's kind of like a no-go for Lucians. Like, you don't want to be doing that because Lucians do damage because they, ignore defense. So if they ignore defense, but they still have a lot of HP, it's hard for them to do what they need to do. You were in there for just a little bit. But yeah, so it's hard for them to do what they need to do if there's HP leader and then a fire monster as well, because it's hard to get through that HP-ness. My wife liked HP-ness.
Did you mean to say that?
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Good. Okay, go off. Alright, so aside from HP-nesses, we're on to a speed team now. The reason why I actually used Mega and Lucian instead of double Lucians is because of that Bernard. And I figured that my team would be doing enough damage against a squishy team like this one where we'd be able to still make it out okay with a little bit less damage. I just didn't want to get cut in between from my Bernard and my Lucian. So that's why I put in Megan instead, so that way I have the double gauge boost plus attack boost to make up for some of the lost attack from the other Lucian, and so on and so forth. As you can see, the Freya, I typically stay away from Freyas with Lucians just because if you happen to catch one, it's like almost like a automatic Praha Nemesis proc if you kill one. It's really horrible and not fun to fight. It's really not fun to fight. This one, I'm pretty sure I fight this one. I don't see anything wrong with. Yeah, so I fought this one. I don't see anything wrong with this one or how it would possibly really give me too much trouble, other than if the Bernard was faster than mine, which it was. And you see Praha landed her thing. So this could have gone a completely different way if the Fire Desert Queen were to say use her third skill, use her second skill, use any skill really, it would have completely changed the outcome of this, because it could have really crippled my Lucians. Really could have crippled them. But again, need a little luck. We got the luck. 14 minutes left. Running through these wings pretty fast. Still haven't refreshed, but I need to refresh now, so this will be my first refresh. Sitting at rank 309. So I'm feeling a little bit better about the defense that I have behind me right now. It's holding off some attacks. Only got hit once in the 4 minutes there. That's a pretty good rate for me in Arena Rush Hour. Once in 4 minutes. I know that my arena offense is going to be faster than 4 minutes most of the time. Not always, but most of the time my arena is going to be faster than 4 minutes. So I'm in a good spot. Plus I get a couple of defense successfuls that come in, etc. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little bit more picky now about my fights, because I know the more I fight just random people, the more I show up on people's lists. Because if you're fighting them, just like I see the people fighting my defense, I show up on their list as well. So they not only can they see me in their drop down list, like their, this one that they're in their matchup list, but they can also see me in their history list as well. So they have double chances to find me, as opposed to just the one, which would be in the matchup list that you see here. So you got to be careful. Don't just go in guns blazing, killing everything that you see, because it could kind of counteract and make you go backwards. Is what I'm saying. This was a fun arena defense. I do fight it. I'm pretty sure I fight it. Yep. There we go. So that's Sean, Samath, and I don't like the setup. I think the Sean and the Samath are pretty cool, but I don't like the other two monsters that it's with. I don't think that this should be like a... he's running like a semi-mid-range type arena defense, but Samath and Shan should just be totally YOLO. Like, you should just want to YOLO the fuck out of every single person that tries to attack your defense. Also, the fact that I was able to one-shot the aerial, that was kind of disturbing for me. Why don't you have a little bit more HP on your aerial? It doesn't. That's not doing any favors on that one. I do like 8k per card, so 816. That's less than 24,000 HP on your aerial. Maybe it's built defense, I don't know, but definitely need more HP on that aerial. Alright, so I got hit a few more times there. Put me all the way back to 619. So now I'm like, damn it. Is this just not gonna happen? I started thinking to myself, okay, what can I do now? Is the Orion not cutting it? Am I too slow? What's happening? Am I still getting Lucianed? I think I look at it 267 plus 19, 267, 19, 77, 86. So something like that. I'm doing the plus 9 speed, or I'm sorry, 19 speed from the Gemini leader. So Gemini leader weighs out to about 286, which is not fast enough. There's a lot of people out there that have Bernards that are faster than that. They could just kind of Lucian me down, double Lucian me down, just like this. Bernard, Lucian, Megan, and it'd be done. I totally spaced out, wasn't watching the screen, but I think I switched to Bernard instead of Ryan at that point, and that started giving me a lot more success because I was just faster altogether. If you didn't have Leo, then it's pretty much, up to your own devices if you think you can outspeed a 294, I think it's 94 speed, Bernard plus a 19 speed leader. Yes, it's doable, but at the same time, can you outspeed it? Can you do enough damage? Can you not outspeed it? Can you take the damage? And all these different factors. And plus, it's kind of a stun team. It's built for stunning you, because you have the Figaro that's not only built on Despair, but it's also has a stun built into his passive, or not his passive, but his second skill. And then you have Vermos that has a stun on skill 2, and then you have Gemini that has Despair on him as well, and the buff strip. So you have essentially 3 stuns altogether plus the Bernard. So that was my reasoning behind switching the defenses, because I just didn't feel like it. Again, I got outsped, which is surprising me because this is my absolute fastest set on my Bernard, but I'm still getting outsped. So luckily, I do have a little luck today. 9 minutes left. I was able to get a nice defense or attack win on that. JLN, I don't know who that is, but he was able to outspeed me. So I'll have to keep a close eye on that for next time. Make sure I don't try to outspeed him, because it could easily go the next way next week instead. So yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about my guild here while we're finishing off a couple more wings. Basically what it is, it's a bunch of G3 players. I have like Cameo Man in there now. I have a girl named Chriselle, and I have a few others that possibly will come. If you guys are looking for a guild, let me know, and I might be able to get you guys in. I'm not being too picky right now, but I do want it to be highest rank as possible. Probably not going to be a super rush guild. It's going to be more casual, laid back for like washed up G3 players like myself. But it'll be good times. It's called Weekday Legend. All one word, capital W, capital L, Weekday Legends, with S at the end. So this defense here that I'm fighting though right now, it Win Monkey King, HP leader on a Nemesis, Despair, Praha. You got to be careful with an HP leader on a double Nemesis healer like Praha, or really anyone, Ariel, things like that, because if you give your monster too much HP and give it another HP boost, you're not losing enough HP to be able to proc your Nemesis. Even with double Nemesis, it's still not working probably as you're hoping it for. So be careful. Be careful with that. If you're running double Nemesis, you still want to run speed slot too, possibly even a leader skill with speed as well. Because your whole plan is to cut in between Lucians. If you don't cut in between Lucians, you're not gonna get the results that you're looking for. So 6 minutes left. We're in the final pushes, and we just hit Guardian 282. This is where it gets a little bit tricky for me. I start slowing down my attacks again. We have 5 attacks left. So still only 1 refresh, no like crystal refreshes in between fights or anything like that. I'm not, nobody's that much of a pay to win player, or I'm not at least. I keep looking at that defense and I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure I can beat it. I'm pretty sure I can beat it. But again, I just want to be super careful with who I pick. I was able to get a few nice defense successfuls that came in there. Really, I was just looking at it. So Shabs from, I don't know what that guild is. There is Hisoka, had a couple defense losses on me. Oh, or no, he had 1 defense loss, 1 defense win. But as you can see, I haven't started a fight in the past solid minute and a half, almost 2 minutes now at this point. Still looking for a fight. You gotta be smart when you get to this point. You have defense successfuls rolling in. You have a couple wings left. You have some time left. You would ideally want the arena to end right now. However, you know that you're probably gonna get hit again, and you need to kind of you need to make a decision. That was a pretty cool defense with the Tian Lang there, the Light Panda. Shout out to that. Light Panda plus some math is kind of stupid. I would never want to fight that. I think I end up fighting this one. I think that's Hisoka. I refreshed to see somebody did in fact beat me. So now that essentially put me out of Guardian 1 off of that defense loss. Because I was at 282, I know for a fact that with a defense loss, definitely going out of that G1 range. So now I know I need to at least have one arena offense win or one arena defense win to be back into Guardian. Super procrastinating though. I'm sitting here thinking I don't want a crystal refresh. I had 40 seconds left on that, 3 minutes left on the clock to reset, and I ended up just going for it. I typically would not fight a defense that looks like this, especially with the Rakan plus the 50% HP leader skill. But once I saw the Praha not proc Nemesis, I was super relieved. I thought, okay, this could turn out well. But then the next question is, how high up is he? Is he low? Is he gonna give me a lot of points? Not a lot of points? And would I be able to beat him again if I were to fight him? Now, still 3 minutes left, so probably about 2.5, 2:15 at this point. I did get another defense loss in, so I'm gonna have to go another arena offense to get back into Guardian 1 again. Still 3 minutes left. It seems like the clock is like really slowing down. I just want it to end already because I'm at where I want to be. Just end. Done. Fortunately, can't do that. So I finished off this defense one more time. I was able to hit 2 pretty quick attacks on this guy. Wasn't too scared that I would lose one of them after I won that first one. So now I'm down at 261. I take a look at this defense. This is Shabs, I believe. Yeah, that's Shabs. I refresh my thing, see that no one else has hit me. I look on my list to see if there's any other teams that have come up that I could possibly quick clear, but it looks like everything's kind of turned to either stall or fire or speed or Amduat, something like that. I got 1 minute left, and at this point, if you have 1 minute left, I got hit. So I'm thinking, crap, I just got bumped out of G1. I need to make moves. So I knew I had that defense in my back pocket. I had to go for it. If I did not go for it, there's literally nothing to lose. If you go for it and you're about to lose, just wait it out till the end of rush, and then it doesn't count. I ended up going for it. Got a couple good crits off from the Lucians. Was able to take down the Beast Monk right away, not really wasting too much time on that. I then went for the Monkey King, or the AoE, but I was still hitting the Monkey King at the same time. Then I saw that the Rakan was a Vampire Rakan, scared me a little bit, got a crit off, was able to finish victory before the time ended, brought me to 272, and that pretty much sums it up. That's how I got G1 with no natural 5-star monsters, no Rena, no Freya, and no OP swag guild that's helping me throughout the way. I mean, granted, you're not gonna really see too much swag down in G1 anyway, but again, it's a non-issue. I just left them. If they probably saw me, they were 100% going to hit me because, you know, when you're in those types of guilds, it doesn't really work out. I did a rank check with Cameo Man just to check, okay, did I end it? G1, he says yes, done. I was super happy, super stoked to be honest, that I was able to get G1. Now, don't get me wrong, I was pretty much, here's just the runes, you guys can take a look at those while I finish off talking about this, but I was pretty much just as happy about accomplishing this as I was when I got G3 for the very first time, or even when I got rank 3, when my highest arena rank ever, rank 3. I felt just as accomplished when I got this as I did for those 2 times, when I first got G3 and when I got rank 3. I was super stoked, because I was kind of doubting myself after last week if I was gonna be able to do it. I was thinking, okay, maybe I should just put Rena in, maybe I should just put Freya in, but I was like, no, I want to stick away from that. I wanted to be like, the whole point of the series is to kind of prove that it can be done with out of meta things as long as you kind of play it right. You have the right strategy behind Rush Hour. You're not attacking just haphazardly, attacking everything, doing whatever you want to do. No, you have to have structure to it. You have to have a reasoning behind it. You have to have a reasoning behind your defense. Don't be married to your defense. Be prepared before Rush Hour to know, what options you have as well. And if you do those things, you're going to give yourself a much better chance to win. Especially if you guys use your nat 5-star monsters, use them to your advantage. Don't be married to a natural 5-star monster if it's not working. Look at these videos, see that there are other options, and try different things out. I can't tell you enough that having a 5-star monster can absolutely hinder you. It can hinder you if you don't use it correctly. If you're absolutely saying that this 5-star monster has to be on my arena defense because that's just what it's got to be, because it's a 5-star monster, it's better than anything that I have, and I need to have it on my arena defense, but you don't have the right monsters to go along with it. So if you don't have those other monsters to kind of, combine and have a, if they don't synergize, that's the word I was looking for. If they don't synergize, then you have to wait on using that monster. Okay? It's a little bit vague, I know, but don't be married to it. If it's not working, change it up, try something else, and move on. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I'm going to still put out a couple more no nat 5 videos, but I will be reruning my natural 5-star monsters come Saturday on free rune removal. Super excited to rune my Wind Monkey King. I hope you guys enjoyed this series though, and hopefully it inspires you guys to, to do it. Just get Guardian, guys. It's not that hard. Farm runes, and you'll be able to get there. But aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely appreciate it. As always, don't be potatoes. Stay soupy. Totally said that backwards. Hit that subscribe button as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.